entrance. Come on in, and anything that's left it should be great. Should be phenomenal. Now, on your way out, if you want to pick those troubles up and throw them back in your bag, you know, in the car with you, whatever, you got that option. Just leave it right there before you come in. Can y'all do that for me? Who had water and exercise this morning? Brain going in protection mode. Early this morning, Leon. You hear all that? I ain't do it, but I'm going to give you a good reason why I did. There is no good reason. Hey, I'm handing you a sheet now so you can remind yourself what I need you to. Oh, that's right. I gave it to you in the elevator after you. Can you pass that back to Lakeisha, Tarika? You got one. Can you pass this back to Georgette for me? Thank you. So take this on your mirror in the morning. That way, you can have a nice little trigger when you get into your bathroom, like, oh, snap, that's what I was supposed to have been doing. And the energy will probably be a little bit different. I'm betting on it. Who was my people that said they had water and exercise this morning? I need both. It's like Kool-Aid and sugar. I need need both ingredients in there for it to be truly a phenomenal batch of Kool-Aid. So here we are, class 3. Before we dive into class 3, we're going to talk about class 2. Class 2. What was class 2 about? Mindset, yes. What were the 2 different mindsets? Growth and fixed. Thank you, Anna. Growth and fixed. So, who wants to give me that illustration of growth mindset? I put out that much information? A lot of data search. What's that, Nicole?
Willing to do something, to learn something.
Okay, all right. It's one characteristic. I like it. We're headed there. What about fixed mindset?
Change the way you're thinking. It probably wasn't on there, but that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mike.
You said fixed?
Fixed. What about fixed?
You're not willing to try new things.
Why is that? Why do you think you're not willing to try new things?
Because, like you're inside your comfort zone, you don't want to step outside your comfort zone and try new things. We'll see what you're capable of trying other things. We'll see what you're good at.
That word just comes to your comfort zone?
Yeah, because I'm like that, yeah. Because I do stuff inside my comfort zone. I don't step outside my comfort zone.
Okay, all right. That's your time. I like it.
Stuck in your own ways and not afraid to try new things.
So, we talked about both aspects. Growth mindset, obviously, is being willing to grow, right? It's in there, meaning to change, to take on challenges, because it's going to be uncomfortable. Again, the brain is designed to protect you mentally and physically. So it's going to be uncomfortable, and when that happens, your brain is going to go into lockdown, shutdown mode, like, hey, you need to step away from that. That's really not you. I feel the stress. I feel the anxiety building up in you. Walk away. And if you don't have that awareness, you'll probably comply with it. You'll probably not step to it. You'll not take advantage of the opportunity. It was just like the drill we did, Thursday, where I asked, hey, who's a great speaker, who would like to become a great speaker? It was just to show you that's what's going on a day-to-day basis. Opportunity is probably dropping all around you. But if you're unaware of it, if you're locked into, your comfort zone, you really won't step out of it. And think about that in this illustration here. So when you see an illustration like this, Zaldi, what do you think that illustration is saying? Okay. Leon?
What you're looking for is right outside of what you're searching for.
Okay. Nicole?
Is to leave your comfort zone to be successful.
Okay. Mom? What do you think that illustration is saying?
Who?
I thought it was boom.
Duma.
Duma. I don't know why I said B this morning. Thank you. No? After the first three great references, you can plagiarize it. You can copyright laws. Like what Leon said, and Nicole, you can be like, hey, no? All right.
Can I say it before I forget it?
Come on, jump the line. What you got?
You get comfortable in your comfort zone that you get stuck instead of going where the magic is. Like you get so comfortable that you just feel like you don't want to cross over that line. You just stay where you're comfortable at, where you're used to.
Okay, all right. Thank you. LaShawn?
I would say the good opportunities are outside of your comfort zone.
Okay. Delaney?
Like looking at the illustration, the comfort zone is small, so that means you're not opening your horizons to bigger things. You want to be where the magic happens. Like Jay-Z said, that I'd rather die enormous than live dormant.
All right, drop some hip hop in there. I like it. Keisha?
Stepping out your comfort zone is where the magic happens. You can do great things by stepping out. Great things can happen for you.
Turk? You didn't hear what I told Duma about the
Yeah, but
plagiarizing and copyright? You didn't have no good ideas? It was like 7 people that wanted to play. None of them was like, oh my goodness.
it all sounds
Not even the Jay-Z reference? That didn't touch you? No? Okay, all right. Hun?
If you step out of that circle of your comfort zone, you can step into the other one and make magic.
Monica?
Stepping out of the comfort zone, but then being aware that you're stepping into another zone, that you need to have the right mindset for the other zone that you need to step in, because it's unknown. And rather than going into it with the wrong mindset, you need to go into it with the right mindset, regardless of if stuff happens. You don't need to go in there with that type of mindset in order for the magic to happen.
Okay, thank you, Monica. Raina?
You have to step out of your comfort zone in order to be part of the magic, or to reach the magic.
So understand, this area right here is what you're doing day to day. If your Mondays are looking like Mondays, and Tuesdays are looking like Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are looking like Wednesdays, and so on and so forth, weekends, it comes, and sometimes you go somewhere different once out of the year, but for the most part, it's probably someplace you've already been. So we're wanting, I think a lot of us have that yearning to want to be a part of something bigger, to do something, you know, a little bit larger, something better than what we were doing the day before, but not realizing that the patterns, the habits that we have are locking us into this cycle. it's safe to say that if you have the desire to live 6 figures plus, and you don't have it right now, more than likely you're going to have to develop some kind of patterns and habits that'll get you there, get you some skill sets, all that kind of good stuff. And all of that lies outside of the comfort zone, because if you had those skills, you had those habits, that attitude, the belief, you would be there by now. So this is just to help you understand and be aware, what am I comfortable with? And if I do something outside of this, why am I uncomfortable? Is it really dangerous physically, or is it mostly mental? And again, mental is just as strong as physical. That's all the brain feels, is the anxiety, the fear, the stress. So it responds to that. So that's when it starts having you backpedaling, going back to familiar land, familiar territory, stuff that you're used to, people that you're used to being around. That's something that you might have to dive into too. Your biasness. Why do you have bias? We all have biasness, because that's how we've been conditioned. You only hang around people that look like you, talk like you, walk like you. And if they're not, it's uncomfortable. It's kind of scary. So that's what today's class is going to be based upon. What is your comfort zone? Why is it there? Who sets the boundaries? Someone else, or do you set them? And how do you know the ones that you have set weren't subconsciously set by somebody else? I.e. parents, school, your neighborhood, extended family members. Hell, now you can throw social media in that bowl. Who are you listening to? So, everybody has a packet now, right? Good? All right. So, comfort zones. Y'all know the drill. I'm going to play a video. You're going to be listening out to hear and fill in the blanks, whether it be in your packet or in your homework. Again, same information, but you keep the packet. Also, OER video from last class.
We all know how we feel when we are in the zone. Life is easy. We're smiling and jiving, and we can just flow because we're operating in a space where we know who we are, what we can do, and we feel confident in handling whatever comes our way. However, when something bigger comes along, our flow gets interrupted, and we're faced with a choice: get bigger than what faces us, or go back to where we are comfortable. Let's take a minute to talk about comfort zones, what they are and what they do. Our comfort zones are defined by our habits and attitudes and our beliefs about who we are. In other words, our self-image. We can act a little better than we think we are and a little bit worse. But as long as we are acting close to our self-image, we are in our comfort zone. And our creative subconscious makes sure we stay there. An easy example of a comfort zone is a thermostat on a wall. We set the thermostat at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And if the temperature falls below to, say, 66, then the furnace kicks in. If the temperature goes up to 70, then the air conditioning turns on. Or in older homes, the furnace just shuts off. The key is the 68, which is the center of the thermostat's comfort zone. It could be held to a constant 68 degrees, but that would not be energy efficient. So, a comfort zone of about 4 degrees is left around the 68 set point. We do the same in our minds, with our self-image. The challenge comes when our comfort zones start keeping us from growing by not allowing us to be more and do more. If our comfort zones are too small, we're likely feeling frustrated by what seems like our inability to change, and yet we let our fear of growing and changing hold us back to what has always been normal for us. We let our lack of confidence or low self-efficacy build prisons of our own making. This is also a reflection of a fixed mindset, a seeming unwillingness to take advantage of other opportunities. Now, when we try to grow bigger than our comfort zones, it causes tremendous tension in our system. It's a little like a stretched rubber band. If the lower end is current reality for you, and you try to grow into something different, stretching the upper end, then the rubber band gets taut, and so do you. Like the tension in this rubber band, you get tense and anxious, and all you want to do is eliminate the tension. As we've seen before, we self-regulate to the strongest picture we hold in our subconscious, courtesy of our creative subconscious keeping us normal and consistent with who we know we are. You know how this feels if you get called up to give a speech or presentation in front of a group of people. It's one of your least comfortable situations. You get all sweaty and your memory goes blank. Your heart is pounding and you start to hyperventilate. You start feeling sick to your stomach and then your knees start to give out. And what are you saying to yourself? Get me out of here. So much for trying to grow beyond your comfort zone. Might as well give up, right? Wrong. What we understand is that human beings fundamentally seek the familiar. We seek it in languages spoken, environments, people, philosophies, economic security. We do this unconsciously, and it comes directly from our beliefs, our habits, and attitudes. When we find ourselves outside of the familiar, our minds subconsciously create behaviors that get us back to where we think we're supposed to be, back inside our limiting comfort zones. Now, comfort zones are not always a bad thing. Some comfort zones keep us safe and keep us from doing some pretty dangerous things, like running across the freeway with cars whizzing by at high speeds, at night, wearing dark clothing, in the rain. It's the comfort zones that are holding us back that we want to change. If we truly want to grow, to become more than we are today, then we need to replace those pictures in our minds that define us. If we change the level of who we believe we are, we rise to that new expectation. We will still have comfort zones, but they will be higher than our present ones. With the process of affirmation, visualization, and controlling our self-talk, we will be raising the standards in our mind and allowing ourselves to free flow at ever higher levels of performance. And we can do it again and again and again, wherever we want to grow.
Our blank blanks are defined by our habits and attitudes and our beliefs about who we are. Comfort zones, thank you. Getting stuck in a comfort zone can be a reflection of a blank mindset. Fixed, yes. We self-regulate to the strongest blank we hold in our subconscious. Picture. Human beings fundamentally seek the familiar. So it just gives you a little bit more illustrations and definitions about what a comfort zone might look like. The benefits of the comfort zone and the non-benefits of having a comfort zone. So now we're going to do a little self-evaluation of ourselves. So 1 to 10, y'all know the drill. You can't use a 7. 7 is the cop-out number. 1 to 10, how likely are you to step out of your comfort zone? So 1 being, I barely left the house this morning because it was cloudy outside and it was kind of spooky. So I don't like it when it rains, so I'm gonna stay home. That'd be a 1. 10, if you had a friend that was kind of adventurous and they were like, hey, this weekend I got some skydiving tickets free. Only thing you need to do is just show up, and you like, I'm on my way. 1 to 10. Zodi. 6. I'm recording this, so I want to make sure I get it. Leon. Nicole.
5.
Duma. 5. LaShawn.
4.
Delaney.
On my way. On my way.
That's a solid 10. Lakeisha.
9.
You said what?
9.
Once I write it down, just wanna make sure. Terica.
5.
What? Georgette.
Who is Georgette?
Right.
Cause I thought I heard it earlier, but I'm like.
I did. That's what.
No.
Oh my goodness, Candy.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Candy.
6.
Messing up this morning. I know. I do this twice today, and I have a group that look just like y'all in the evening.
Oh.
I owe y'all 5 push-ups apiece. Will that settle the debt between us? No? Oh my goodness. What about you, Candy? No? Oh my goodness. Oh,
I'm just kidding.
donut. I'm gonna get y'all a donut. Hyman?
6.5.
Oh, okay. You want to push? You want to push the 7 envelope? I could tell. Monica?
10. Yeah, I'm
I'm
pretty
right.
adventurous. I'm pretty adventurous.
Writing it down.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it.
Raina?
8.
All right. Man, got some nice numbers. So what I like y'all to do now is stand up, tuck your chairs in, stand behind your chairs. All right. My 10, could you join me up on the front of the stage, please?
Which one?
Yeah, you my vet 10. You was gonna be my back. If I'd have got some more 5s and 4s,
I got you.
you know. Yeah, come on. It's okay. I changed my cologne this morning, so there's more people sit closer. All right, so why a 6, Zodi? What's keeping you from that 10? Okay. All right. Leon, why 6?
Because I will burn myself out there, but I will not to. So, I feel like more times I put myself in an uncomfortable position. Like, it might get happened, but it might not. So it's kind of in the air. But I feel like more yes than no. So I'll keep it at 6.
That's a good explanation, sir. Thank you. Nicole? 5. Mhm.
Yeah, because some comfort zone is good for us, but sometimes it's not. So I don't want to take a lot of risks to get some trouble for no reason.
Got you. Duma, you said 5? Why 5?
I'm just used to being where I'm at. I don't do more than I have to.
LaShawn, you said 4?
For me, I explain it depends on the situation, but if I feel like I'm not comfortable with my brand skills to do it, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay where I'm comfortable at, what I know.
All right. Delana?
5.
know, she was.
So
Why? Yeah, why 5'10"?
Because, I feel like being in your comfort zone, like it's comfortable, and after a while, life will pass you by because you're comfortable.
Thank you. Lakeisha, you said 9?
Yes, because I'm willing to do it, and I'm stepping out my comfort zone because I've been doing insurance forever. And it's scary, I haven't been in school in years, so I am out of my comfort zone. You know, and I say it now because I do be battling with it, but I'm still here today.
Thank you. Terica, you said 5?
I mean, it depends on what it is. I might say yes, yeah. I'm gonna still be there.
Candy, 5?
No, I had a 6. I guess it just depends on what it is. It depends on what it is, but then also, like if it's something dangerous, I put that fright in here, you know, and then I'm like, no, I don't wanna risk like losing my life on something or, you know.
That
So
far you been doing, you do dangerous stuff like that?
No, but
Oh.
I'm just saying like, you know, just like you said, skydiving or
She
something,
said
you know.
lose a life, didn't she?
I'm like, no, I'm not gonna, I wouldn't, I can tell you now, I would not do nothing like that, cause I'm not trying to like hurt myself, you know.
Got you, thank you, Candy. Iman, you said 6.5.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think if you're in your comfort zone for too long, it gets boring. So it's nice to step out and do something new and try something you haven't done before. And the anxiety is never really that bad. Like after you do it, like it's just your mind playing tricks on you.
Okay, all right. Raina, you said 8? Why 8?
I'm still working on speaking in public or in front of people. I think that's what I'm still struggling with and working with. I'm willing to try mostly everything, but I know that in that part I'm still struggling. So, yeah, that's why I'm still working.
Okay. And our illustrious 10 up there.
Yes.
Why 10?
Why it's in,
Mm-hmm.
because, at my age, I have a lot of energy. I'm not scared to step out. What I'm doing now, stepping out, is costs me everything. And I'm paying the price now. So, because I'm looking forward to, you know, the big picture and all, you know, this is life. And I love living, even if it's on the edge.
So we're about to go to the edge today.
Okay.
So what's going to happen is, is Monica is going to lead us in dancing to one of my favorite tunes. Our job is to mimic whatever she does. All right? So.
Close attention.
As soon as I can get this. What? Oh my goodness. I had everything prepped up here. I wonder what happened. All right. Oh, there it is. There go my favorite. This is and my favorite. It's already. All right, again, we gotta mimic whatever Monica does. All right. No, make up your own dance. We facing them. Unless you need this, then yeah, I'm gonna put the music on, give us something to dance to. So. Okay, what? Hold up, Terica ain't joining us. What's happening, Terica? Come on. on, Terica. I said, everybody, come on. Oh, Mr. Turn. Come on, stop it, bro. It's okay. Everybody give Monica a hand. You truly are a 10. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. Relax. I had a 310 up there. All right, have a seat. That's my jam right there. So, what do you think the purpose of that exercise was, Hyman? What do you think, Derek? Lakeisha, what you think? All right. Nicole?
Yeah, we go.
Duma? All right. LaShawn? I know. Terica did. She thought there was an option. She sat right on down, watched everybody else get that groove on. Zowdy? Okay. Leon?
See, like, compare not what we gave ourselves to what we really would do in the situation.
I was checking. I'm gonna be honest. Delaney, what you think?
You was trying to see if we had a rhythm, you think? Nah, but it was to like basically get us out of our comfort zone.
So it was all out of what you guys said, but this is also what I want you to recognize and understand. How many made the situation in their head worse than the actual situation itself? By show of hands. Who was terrified? Who was terrified? I said we were about to dance. In your head, before it began, who was terrified? I know Terica was. Why your hand is not up? I don't understand, Terica. You what? Why else would you not dance? See how the brain goes in protection mode? You can't be sleeping and awake at the same time, can you, Leon? I don't know. You were staring right at me. You were staring at Monica like, oh my goodness. I seen the fear in your eyes. I locked onto it like, oh. That's what I want y'all to be aware of. That's what we do when something that we're not used to, that's throwing us off of our day or takes us and pushes us out that comfort zone, we go into lockdown mode. And your brain, what the three things your brain is designed to do for you. What is it designed to do? What are they? Protect you. Yeah, show you value and make you look right no matter the circumstances. Terica wanted to bring him on sleep. It was fear. I seen it. It's fear. What? You need glasses to dance? That's when you let your rhythm kick in. I mean, it was wasn't it a nice jam? I mean, it was on Trolls. That's a nice song. It's a dope jam. I thought, I don't know. But again, you're protecting yourself there, because if it really was the thing, you wouldn't be so like, oh no, I'm telling you, I'm going to sleep right now. But it happens to all of us. When something happens and we face it, your brain not only goes into protection mode, but it gives you them good 1,000 excuses that you need to not do it. you can almost label it in the creative avoidance category. And that's something that you want to be aware of as you go through life that's linked with the comfort zone, creative avoidance. And we've been mastering creative avoidance since we were little. So since we were like 8 or 9 when we went to school. When we started learning the importance and putting value on things. And start understanding why other people have values on things. At least understanding their value, maybe not the reasoning part, but the value part. And then you start mastering it. So when your mom comes in there, your dad is like, hey, you need to get in there and do those dishes. And you really don't feel like doing dishes. And you're like, ooh, I was just about to start on my homework, you know. Because what you're doing is substituting because you're weighing. Do you want me not to do my homework or you want me to do these dishes? Which one? Because that's the option that I'm presenting. That's creative avoidance. I don't want to do this for whatever reason. It could be fear or you just don't want to. It could be put in any one of those categories. But your brain automatically goes into protection mode and then it automatically starts giving you excuses and reasons of why you don't need to be there. Or you don't need to participate or you don't need to do it. That's what your brain does. So when you don't go out there and you don't go for those job interviews and all that kind of good stuff, and it's because that job probably wouldn't be right for me. You already start making up. That's the power of that brain. You can make up any imagery, any kind of excuse that you want that's going to satisfy you. Or maybe even satisfy those that you think might ask you a question about it. Any of your people in your life that might remotely hold you accountable for what you say. So that was all those things. It was just a test, but more importantly, just to have you aware. Again, it's not my job to embarrass you. What's my goal? There you go. Help you unleash your book. It's going to be like the class saying. As soon as y'all walk in, we're going to stand up like the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag. Be like, your goal is to unleash my fullest potential. Because that's it. And these are some of the strategies and techniques that I've come up with to throw in here to just have you aware and show you. Why? Why did I make dancing feel dangerous? You think somebody cares whether or not you dance or not? Really, truly. You think I'm going to go home and be like, oh, you should have seen Leon and his two-step. Oh, it was crazy. No. Once we leave here, we're going to dive back into our routines, whatever our habits are, and that's going to be the end of it. And understand, when you come in here and you have all that fight, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You wasn't doing this last month. So your brain is giving you all these reasons, all these excuses of why you shouldn't be here. Whatever you was doing last month, how comfortable it was, whether you was at home or, usually hanging out or watching TV, who knows? But that's a habit. And with that habit, built that attitude. So anything that takes you out of that, you're going to find reason to fight it, to kick back, come here, look at me crazy, be in a disposition. But I had water and exercise this morning, so I'm feeling phenomenal. I'm ready. I got to do this again, too, at 6 o'clock. So if you guys want a little bit of more dance lessons, maybe I can borrow Monica for this evening, just in case I run into a bunch of 4s and 5s. I mean, you had some routines. That's what I'm talking about. You had routines. I like that. And was you R10 for your class? She had some nice moves too. She definitely stretched a couple of people out there, comfort zone in that class. So what we're going to dive into is another video explaining, so if you look at your packet and your homework, another video explaining about comfort zones and what happens in your mind when you're faced with a situation that requires you to step out your comfort zone. He's going to explain the process, the thought process that goes in your mind when that happens. I wonder why all my stuff went away.
As I think I am. Remember that? I act in accordance with the truth as I believe myself or believe it to be. By the time we're through, you'll understand very well what's holding you back or holding back the people you're responsible for and how to release it at the root cause level. It isn't because they aren't putting effort. It isn't because they're bad people. It is they self-sabotage themselves when their marriage goes too well, when life is going too well. What's too good for you? And who said so? That becomes a good question. When you understand then that what you're doing is correcting backwards, we all know we correct up. When things aren't good, oh gosh, and we're out of way, you know, things aren't going well, we always correct up. Most people never had the slightest idea that they correct backwards. Now, if I was to ask one of you, it could be any one of you, if you could walk on a platform or a beam that's about as wide as the table, and it's about as high off the floor as the tables might be. And I would say, maybe it would be about 20, 30 feet long. And I would say to you, if you walk the length of that without stepping off, I'll give you $1,000. Any volunteers? Look, hands go up. Okay, but what I'm going to do is naturally not give you it at that level. I'm going to elevate the same width and the same length, and we're going to put it between two buildings about 50 stories high. Got the picture? Same width, same length, 50 stories high. I'll be on this side, you're on the other side, and I just say, come across and I'll give you $1,000. Step off and you don't get it. Got it? Would you now raise your hands, those of you that are willing to come, Kevin, Ron, your hands went up quick. Would they go now? The answer is, I don't think so. Okay, now, what's the difference? Risk. And where is the risk calculated? In here. And when you see yourself failing or getting hurt, it impedes the fluidness with which you think and your coordination and your balance. It increases the likelihood of your failure. Folks, you've got to learn to play without fear. I'm going to show you how to work without fear, how to live without fear. That doesn't mean without consequence. It means without fear. See, what you do is, many of you, you escalate yourself out of place. When you can move smooth and natural as long as you're in a safe environment. And that's why you stay with the familiar and won't let yourself leave your comfort zone. Because you start going 5 stories, 10 stories, 20 stories, 30 stories, 50 stories. See, and you naturally fail. And your mind says, don't go, don't go. Socially, don't go. Economically, don't go. Athletically, don't go. See, don't let yourself become. No. So it's not what you know, is what you can use of what you know when you're in a strange or difficult circumstance. My wife was an art teacher, for crying out loud. I wouldn't even go socially with art teachers. They would intimidate me because they didn't know anything about football. And that's dumb, but that's how small my world was. But using the process that I'm going to teach you, I let myself move away. Make sense? You'll learn that. Then you can apply it, not only to yourself, but everybody you care about. Now, the other thing we know about how our mind works is you're teleological in nature, and I want you to remember that. By teleological, it just means that when you get a picture in your mind, you're drawn to the picture. You're drawn to the picture whether the picture is good for you or not. Do you know anybody that worries? Do you know what worrying is? Negative goal setting. When you get a picture of what you don't want to have happen, you're drawn to it. Golfers, if you think sand and you've got any skill, you'll get sand. Because you'll lift your head or roll your hips or turn your wrist sufficient not to get what you really want, but to get what you're thinking about. So you move towards what you think about. Your job is the discipline of controlling your self-talk to think about what you want when the world around you is contrary to it. Formula One race drivers, auto drivers, they're taught that when their car is going out of control and heading to the wall, they're to immediately look to the recovery point. Because if they look to the wall, they'll steer into the wall. They go where they're looking. That's the way you must run your life. When you were a little kid riding your bicycle and you're not very good at it, or any little kid not good at it, and they're driving down or riding down the path in the road, and they see a great big rock in their way. Most of them keep looking at the rock if they're not very good at it. And they keep steering their bike smack-o right into the rock. Then they get mad at the rock. See, your physiology is attached to what you're dwelling on. You move toward and you become like that which you think about. Your present thoughts determine your future. You're going to see how we utilize that to change our self-concept. You're going to see how you're going to utilize that to become a great leader. You're going to see that in order to make a change in your future, you've got to see the future as though it's already accomplished in your mind, and you take yourself from your present state into the desired state. You ever know anybody that was accident-prone? What do you think accident-prone people might think about? Having accidents. I think insurance companies now believe that most accidents are caused by two accident-prone people looking for each other. And now if you even forget you're accident-prone, people know you. See, that's why it's hard to change. They keep drawing you back into how they see you. So before you leave the house, it's be careful, dear, you know how you are. Oh, I almost forgot. Well, don't forget. It's because I love you that I keep reminding you of your problem. Now let's go back. Remember how the self-talk and how you're going to treat your family and how you're going to treat the people around you. The more we dwell on what's wrong with us, the more we perpetuate it, the more we're stuck in it. So what we've got to be able to do is see as they are, but not see it as fixed. And we've got to talk to them about the future before they exist. You've got to see people into the future. I will show you how to do that. But that is the way you lead. That's the way you mentor. That's the way great leaders have always done it. They speak of the future, but in the present tense. See, if you have somebody who you love very much that has cancer or is seriously ill, you should see yourself well before you are. You don't wait until you're well to think well. You think well while you're ill. And you draw yourself from that state through your decision-making, your immune system, into the desired state. That is discipline. The discipline of controlling your self-talk, the discipline of controlling what the people around you are thinking about. So you don't just talk future, you talk future as though it's accomplished. And you don't deny how things are. We've got to talk about that later. You've got to see the goal, and you've got to see reality, and you're going to see later on that's what creates the energy and the creativity. Now, so we keep telling people what's wrong with them. And they keep dwelling, and they keep going in that direction, and we just think they're being dumb. See, we're managing backwards. We're leading backwards unless you know the root cause of success and excellence. You stop the dwelling on the wrong and you switch it to what to do right. And that's what you do with a kid that's always leaving their clothes on the floor. You got any? What do you tell them? You're the messiest kid I've ever seen. The kid says, I know, I've been like this for years. You've told me for years. The kid's got to throw them on the floor, Zelia, or they'll go crazy. They're acting like the person you've told them they are. Discipline in here is what we're after.
All right. Our comfort zones not only cause us to correct up when our results are below the levels we're used to, but they also correct backwards. So imagine that. So not only when you recognize a situation and you feel like it's beneath you or below you, you walk away from it. It's the same thing when you walk upon a situation and you feel like it's going to take you out your comfort zone, or, you know, you're not maybe able to fit in for whatever your reasons are, whatever you're thinking, you know, your biases that you probably grew up with, you walk away from it. So correcting up or correcting down, the brain does both, all right? It's not what you know, it is what you can blank of what you know in strange and difficult situations, circumstances. What you say? Use? Use. So, again, it goes back to, you can know it, that's cool, but are you applying it in your life? Are you using it? Because just knowing it probably isn't going to help the situation out. You're going to have to apply some of those skills. So, blank means that you're drawn to the picture whether the picture is good for you or not. Teleological. So, what he's saying that we're one of the, you know, rare species out there in the world that we're able to imagine things, how it might be, how it might turn out. So that's great if you're constantly imagining that you're going to have great results, you're going to have great success. But if you spend most of your time on that next statement, blank is negative goal setting because we move toward and become like what we think about. What's that word in there for that blank? Worrying. That's what we do. We're able to condition ourselves to hypothetically think about the worst case scenario. What if I don't make it? What if I don't fail? And if you were paying attention to what he was saying in the video, he's saying sometimes if you go down that road, subconsciously you're going to self-sabotage. You're going to make yourself too uneasy, too uptight, not able to really flow and get into the situation because you're uncomfortable or you feel like you don't belong because you didn't already imagine all of the 1,000 ways that this thing could go wrong, and you only imagine it going the right way one time. So what do you think, what thought process do you think is going to win out? If you imagine failing 1,000 times and only imagine winning once? Self-sabotage, because of one of those three things that your brain is designed to do for you. What's that one I'm looking for? Not in this case. It's designed to make you look right. So when you don't make it, you're like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I imagined that. Because your brain is designed to make you look right. So when I say those three things, those three functionalities of the brain, that's the awareness aspect of it. So whenever you're going somewhere or you're about to, embark on something new that's taking you out your comfort zone, he said it in the video, you need to see yourself there safely. You need to see yourself there succeeding, winning, the whole entire time, start to finish. Because if you don't, you're going to be leaning on the other side. And your brain is designed to make you look like a genius, so it's going to happen for you. So our blank thoughts determine our future, our present. And now it's about taking advantage of that very skill that we all have, being teleological beings, to predict our future. How many in here don't know where they're going to be tomorrow? How many of you prepared for tomorrow? Like you made a list out, like, oh, at 8 a.m. I'm doing this, at 9 a.m. I'm doing this, at 10 a.m. That's maximizing, that's time management. At 8 a.m. I'm winning at this. At 9 a.m. I'm winning at this. 11 a.m. I'm winning at this. 12 p.m. I'm winning at this. You have that ability as a teleological creature. If you knew it was going to be snowing tomorrow, would you be wearing the outfit you're wearing today? Maybe, maybe not, right? But that's preparation. It's forecasting. Saying tomorrow, I know what it's going to be like outside, so I'm going to wear this and this in preparation for that. You could do that for anything that you embark on. Going to work, oh, this is what I need to get done there. Probably need to talk to these couple individuals. This is what we're going to talk about. You have that capability. And I promise you, the folks that you run into probably are not doing that. So, who's going to win the day? That's why they say fortune goes to the prepared. Because I dictate what we're going to talk about, where the conversation is going to go. But if I just show up being me, it could go anywhere. We need to stop dwelling on what is wrong and instead switch to do. What does that statement actually mean, though? I think it's kind of hidden. What does that statement mean to you, Nicole? We need to stop dwelling on what is wrong and instead switch to do right. What does that statement mean to you?
To stop worrying.
Okay. Duma?
And the rest for us.
Okay. Thank you. Duma? What's that statement mean to you?
Well, for me, stop thinking that you can fail. And try to be positive.
LaShawn?
I had it on here, but it's gone now.
What the? All right. Lakeisha?
Always thinking of what to do right and stop worrying about what's wrong. So change my mind frame.
All right. Terica? Okay. Candy?
I immediately put in my head out the gate immediately that it's gonna go wrong. You know, just instantly put them negative thoughts in my head before I even attempt it.
So you're going to change that?
Yeah, I wanna change that.
All right. Hyman?
I guess it's kind of like in the first class when you were like, what if your child brought you your report card and it got A's, but then it has F's too? You don't even look at the F's, just look at the A's.
Oh, man. That's exactly what it's talking about. Very nice. I know you was going to say that. I know you was. Zali, what's your thoughts? You going to co-sign on Hyman? Okay. Leon? Ooh, nice. Monica?
What was the question?
Uh-oh. That last statement, we need to stop dwelling on what is wrong and instead switch to do right. What does that statement mean to you, Monica?
Stop dwelling on what is wrong. I mean, that's really important to stop dwelling on what is wrong because I'm under the conviction that whatever you think, you can draw it to yourself. And if for the most part you're thinking wrong, no wonder it happened. Look how you brought it into keep speaking it to you, into your life. So it's really important. You know, your words got power. And the crazy part about that is the negative parts of words would manifest first and faster than positive words. I don't know why that is, but it happens. And to change that, change the way you talk and change the way you're thinking. So next year, it'll look different.
So I'm going to elaborate. Thank you for that, Monica. I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on what she just said. So statistically, they say if you think something is going to go wrong or it's going to, turn out bad, just by the way you're conditioned, it's 7 times more likely to happen if you think it. The crazy thing about it is that if you speak it, you just times it by 10. So now that you know, you can't unknow. So you're walking around talking crazy, you must want crazy to be in your world. Raina, what you think about that last thought or statement?
Present thoughts determine the future. So if we keep dwelling on what's wrong, we're going to keep repeating same behaviors, same beliefs over and over. But if we change our thoughts and the way we speak and start looking at the positive instead of the negative, then we change our future.
Very nice, thank you. And introduce yourself, sir. I know. I mean, you're trying to fool me with the beard and the bush, but I recognize you. Introduce yourself to the class and give a little bit about yourself. A little quick history about yourself.
My name is Corey Black. I graduated from Ashland College in 2019, January 2019. From Michigan, came down here in 2016, got in here shortly afterwards. I'm a carpenter. I do quite a few things. One thing that I do like to do, now that I've graduated, is talk with them here. Not as often as I used to, but it's because I believe that the information that's given in here is extremely helpful with the way you think and how you move your habits and things of that nature. Oddly enough, talking about the grades and everything, what to focus on, I use that with my guy kids still. That's the one I talk about often. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Are you working in
What do you mean?
for IT?
Oh, I graduated, I was an officer.
Okay.
But he does more than that. He's being modest. He does mentorship. He travels around. He's actually met E.T. So he's being very modest about what he gets into. Owns a couple of properties and businesses. So yeah, don't let the hair and the T-shirt fool you.
I actually have a close relationship with his mom, so we talk often. But all of them, it's pretty interesting in the school because the type of people that you see them to be on, videos and whatnot, they are exactly that person. Extremely down to earth, extremely informative. They have a lot of gems and things to take, but they are who they are, literally.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. Well, good to see you, brother. Glad you were able to make it on this momentous occasion. Thank you. So, again, I'm going to reflect back to what Hyman said. That's what that statement, when he put it out there, he's saying that, hey, that's what we've been conditioned to do. We've been looking, conditioned to look at people's flaws, their failures, and, promote that. Push it back in their face versus their success. And then not only recognize the success, but get them to talk about it. Have them examine the process. How did you get to this point? What was your plan? What was your strategy? What were some of the things that you implemented to get to this successful moment? That's what you want to you know, incorporate in your life. Like Corey was saying, when he talks to other individuals, if it's there, if it's something that happens, then you see the light that it brings out of them, the confidence, you know, the self-esteem, the self-efficacy, the self-concept starts getting boosted because you're reminding them about a successful moment. But not only that, but it was all them. It was due to their planning, their hard efforts, their taking advantage of resources that were there to get them to that point. Go out and get the resources if they didn't have them readily available. Like, it's all of that. But your brain, we all have that magical weapon. That brain, it's just, again, this is just manual to just kind of, you know, get you to use it more effectively for you, to get the things that you want. So it's more about now, if you're in a comfort zone, now it's about making yourself being comfortable, being uncomfortable. So on a day-to-day basis, throw something new in there. It could be anything. New vocabulary word, you know, make it a point to talk to 2 people you've never talked to before in your life. Simple stuff. I'm not asking you to go skydiving this weekend. Just throw into your life some simple stuff to just get your mind conditioned and that habit, that program of saying, hey, this is me. This is the new me now. I like being uncomfortable. I like stepping out. I like networking. That's what I like doing. Because if you feel like you're the opposite or the other side of that, it's understanding that you've been conditioned to be that way. You've been programmed to be that way. That's not really how we came into the world. We came into the world mischievous, curious, wanting to learn, absorbing every piece of information that fell into our arena. That's how we learned language. That's how we learned how to walk. We had to learn. We had to be curious. We had to observe. We had to rely and depend on other people. And again, you can make that yourself. It's just a matter of just practicing it. Because now that you know the benefits of it, your thought process, what it means, how it means to you, what it means to you, just interesting. So, I'm going to play this short clip. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. And this one is not in your homework. I just want your opinion about this video once it's over.
Gentleman in the elevator now is a candid star. These folks who are entering, the man with the white shirt, the lady with the trench coat, and subsequently one other member of our staff, will face the rear. And you'll see how this man in the trench coat tries to maintain his individuality, but little by little, he looks at his watch, but he's really making an excuse for turning just a little bit more to the wall. Now we'll try it once again. Here's the candid subject. Here comes the candid camera staff, 3 of them at least. And this man has apparently been in groups before. You're going to see a fellow who fights a little bit to withstand the group pressure now. He'll express his discomfort in the way he looks and the way he wiggles a little bit, but watch. He's right in a groove now. The elevator hasn't budged, but the doors open a moment later, and this we find. He's very unhappy. You'll see him. He doesn't know whether to go inside and face front or outside and face back. But he's one of the group now. Here's a fella with his hat on in the elevator. First he makes a full turn to the rear and Charlie closes the door. A moment later, we'll open the door. Everybody's changed positions. Now we'll see if we can use group pressure for some good. Now, in a moment, on Charlie's signal, everybody turns forward. Notice they take off their hats. And now, do you think we could reverse the procedure? Watch.
Keisha, what you think? What's your thoughts?
I want him to follow the crowd, follow what is pursued.
Mm-hmm.
And I want him to do his own thing. And trying to keep up.
Okay. Terica, what's your thoughts? Huh?
I was just trying to figure it out. What are they trying to fit in? Was he trying to fit in? Yeah, it's just like following what other students. He's trying to keep up with it, right?
Right. Candy, what's your thoughts?
Easily influenced by what others are doing.
Okay. I'm.
I mean, I think you have to maybe when everybody else is doing something, you have to think about it maybe a little deeper. Maybe you shouldn't be doing what they're doing.
Okay. What you got, Nicole?
Part of the group.
Okay. Doom?
Just easily influenced by everybody else. Don't have a problem mindset.
All right. LaShawn?
I agree with what Candy said.
Which was?
Easily influenced, but at the same time, we have a mind of our own.
Okay. Zaba? Okay. Leon?
Yes, whatever we see going on around us, we can't be able to down ourselves. We
Okay. Monica?
About the elevator situation, I would have turned around too, because being the only one staring this way and everybody looking at you like, nah, I'll turn around. I just, I do what they do, just face the wall. So I won't be looking at them and they won't be all staring at me. So I just turn around too.
Maybe you don't know, maybe they know something you don't know, so. So you just do.
Delana?
So, like in the other video, when he said that the race car drivers, they tell them to look the opposite way so they don't drive towards the wall, right? So, the guy was confused when he tried to resist and still stay faced this way. But eventually, he ran into the wall because he turned around like everybody else. If he would have looked the other way, then he probably would have like stood his ground and not did what everybody else did.
He was actually going was right, facing the door.
Yeah.
Well,
But then he got like scared. He didn't really know what
you're
was
using
going
the
on.
word, I think, loosely, the right way. It's the way we've been conditioned. You can stand in the elevator, any way, however you want to. But it's the conditioning that it needs to be facing one particular. And again, it was just to have you aware that, right, a lot of times when you make decisions, it's a decision. You're not a pioneer in it. Meaning someone's already done it before you or showed you some illustration of it, and you're just walking down already the beaten path that's already been laid out for you, per se. Raina, what's your thoughts on the video?
Wow. It's funny because I think it's happened to most of us by society or, with our beliefs, and we've all been there. Sometimes we don't agree with things, but we end up doing what society or people around us are doing because our brain is trying to protect us. And that's what's so funny about, even though the people that turned knew that the door is this way, the door is gonna open and we need to walk forward, so we should be facing this way because our brain is trying to protect us so we will look crazy or insane, and we don't wanna be ridiculed and want people to talk about us, and we're afraid of that. Every single one of us is afraid of being, until you unlearn that behavior and change it. So that's why they turn. Because their brain is telling them, well, that I must, with the right or wrong thing, I must be wrong. Everybody, these people, it's people that work here, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you have already a belief about who they are. Imagine if a CEO walks in there, the president of the United States, and everybody's facing the other way. You're like, well, I must be wrong. So it's our brain trying to protect us and from being, ridiculed or feel stupid in front of others. That's right.
Nice. Corey, what's your thoughts?
Take it off, but you run out right now. That's you trying to get.
You take off.
So if you take off, you start running, I'm starting too. I'm not gonna ask.
Well, there's a statistical, they've actually done a research on it. It's a statistical number that generates movement. If one person does it, you might get 10% of the people that might see that person take off running, maybe. And that's the high end. It's probably anywhere from 0 to 10%. 2 people, it multiplies. Now you probably get at least 40 to 50% inquiring, like why is 2 people running? 3 people run by, 80% of y'all are gone. That's statistically what they said. And they've done it several times. That's why in the elevator, if you was watching the video in the beginning, when it was only one person coming in facing the other way, there really wasn't no movement. 2 people, really wasn't. Third, some thought process started rolling through their head. When that 4th one came in, they were like, I guess it's this way. That's the statistical thing. And they've done it time and time again across every field. They've done it in New York Times Square, where they had one person staring up at this imaginary billboard. One person just standing there. People will walk by and look at them, you know, but they're keep it moving. 2 people, same thing. A lot more people kind of pause and kind of like, what are these 2 people? 3, then you got people stopping and looking up. Like, what are they looking at? 4, you damn near had a whole Times Square looking up at this imaginary billboard because they're trying to figure out what these 4 people are looking at. So it's a statistical thing, but they say it goes back to our tribal days about being along or wanting to be a part of something. So back in the day, in order to survive, you had to be a part of the tribe. You had to do what they said, wherever they wanted to go, whatever movements, because it meant your life. If you wasn't a part of the tribe, then you were by yourself. That means you had to hunt, gather, fight, you know, enemies by yourself. And that was almost certain death. So in order to survive, you're like, well, I got to go along with the group. So that's something that's been embedded in us, even though those dangers are not apparent today, but it's still been passed on from generation to generation, and it's instilled in us. That's why we want to be a part of something bigger or you know, or uneasy about going against, you know, the majority or the masses. And I don't mean like hundreds of thousands of people, I mean 4 people. You got 4 people in your network or your support group that does something, then more than likely you're going to follow it. So, Corey, you have any additional thoughts on that?
Yeah, I always ask questions. It seems to be odd. It's just, I don't care how many people are, I'm like, hold up, if the door is open this way, why y'all turn it to the left? You know, that's because I've been heavily against peer pressure for a long time. So I early on, starting back in like middle school, I learned how to not give in to peer pressure and to question things. Even if it may seem like I might be embarrassed, I learned how to even push past that, to not be scared to just ask a question just out of curiosity. Even if it makes sense to do, okay, cool, now I understand. Now I'll make the decision to follow y'all or not. You know, but getting past that, what I saw was like they're too afraid to ask because they don't want to look stupid. Like it's been said, it's like it never hurts to ask, just to understand, just in case. So that's the way that I've always moved for years. So I would be that one person that still I'm looking dead at you because I'm like, whatever reason why you standing facing the opposite direction that I'm facing, that's on you. You know, I'll make my decision for myself, and I won't follow you unless it makes sense for me to do so.
So I like what you said. That was a conditioning. It was a learned thing. It wasn't something that he just came into the world, you know, believing or subscribing to. It was something that, again, as we go through these classes, you start building up more and more awareness about your intentions, your actions, your responses to other individuals or to situations, and that's what it's meant to do. Just have you look at it, you know, with awareness or a different perspective, and not really give in to how you've already been conditioned and programmed to do things in life. It's just to look at it and say, why did I choose that? Why am I doing that? Why am I following behind, you know, this individual or these individuals? Like, what's the goal? What's the outcome? Right? Start looking at it again from a lot of different perspectives. But that's just us. And until you become aware, you're going to probably become, you know, I don't want to use the term, you know, too heavy, but victim of, you know, whatever has been coming out of that situation before you got there. What's up, Corey?
Something that just hit me, something I focused on right before I started here, started going to school here, was noticing that what happened in the elevator, was it a factual decision or was it a feeling decision? You know, so are you making that decision to turn with them because it's legit factual, like why, like you know anymore are you making decisions with time because you feel a certain way. You feel embarrassed, or you feel shy, you feel scared. So, the whole logical emotion, trying to figure out why are you making certain decisions that you're making.
So, in that, it brings to mind that there are 3 truths in the world. Anybody know what the 3 truths are?
Taxi.
So taxes. All right, the 3 truths. There's my truth, your truth, and the universal truth. So we walk around with our truths kind of in alignment with what Corey is talking about, meaning that we have a belief of how things are supposed to be. And then there's a belief when you face someone else and how they believe things are supposed to be. And then there's the universal truth where it doesn't matter how you feel, it's something that you're going to deal with, and no matter who comes and questions it, if they decide to do the science on it, it's going to come out the same way. Like a universal truth could be gravity. So if Leon decided to test gravity out doing his own private studies, and he comes out with these numbers about how fast, a ball is pulled down to the ground, and he does the math on it. If Candy comes behind him and does the same science, because she's a black female, the results are not going to come out differently. The results are going to come out the same. And it doesn't matter what religion you are, it doesn't matter what race you are, gender. If you do the science behind it, the results are going to be the same. So you can classify that a universal truth. But everything else is kind of like our truth. So if you believe Christianity is the best religion or Muslim is the best religion, it's just a belief. If you believe Republicans are better than, Democrats, that's just it's just your truth. It's not so much as a universal truth. So that's kind of how you want to be thinking whenever you face something like, am I choosing this because it's ultimately the best way, I'm going to get out the best one, or I'm doing it because I've been conditioned, someone showed me to do it this way, so I've just been following their truth, and now I've made it my truth or my belief of how it should be done. So we dove into this whole area of power of influence because of this statement up here. So a New England Journal of Medicine published a study by Harvard Medical School studying weight gain and obesity for 12,000 people over 32 years. So a very large and long study, all right? They looked at sleep habits, exercise, diet, and a whole host of other factors. What do you think was the leading producer of whether or not an individual gained or lost weight? What do you think? Give me one. Diet. What you got, Zadi? Mental health. Nicole? Diet. Diet. LaShawn? Exercise. Lakeisha? Exercise. Terica? Diet. Candy? Exercise. Hamid? Stress. Monica? Exercise.
Stressed out and
Delana?
Diet.
Diet. Raina?
I was just talking to my son about that yesterday. When he left to go to college, he's going to UNT, he changed his friends. When he was here, when he was staying with me, he was eating better. We were going to the gym together. He was looking better. He came back with like 50 pounds extra. And I'm like, what happened? He's He was eating like his friends, partying with the friends, and he gained all that weight. So I believe it's the people around him.
Corey?
I'll say sleep habits.
Sleep habits, very nice. So, it's who your closest friends were. And the study was overwhelmingly, it was based on like 95%. The stats came out. So if your friends are gaining weight, you're gaining weight. And I mean people that you're in contact, I'm talking about people that you're in contact with on a day-to-day basis, not folks that are living somewhere else and you only FaceTime them. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about ones that you are in a constant environment around. So generally, whatever their habits are going to be your habits. Mostly because of the man in the elevator. It's that peer pressure. If they eating, you going to be sitting at the table, the only one looking at them? Probably not. Probably. That is an option, but it's when they get to asking you questions like, you ain't hungry? Why'd you come out? The next thing you know, you're ordering a snack off of the
You are who you hang
appetizer.
out with and what you eat.
Hey, that's what the science and the statistics say behind it. I'm only just passing it on to you guys. It's not really, you know. So all the information that I'm giving you guys is because I've collected it over time, you know, and put it into this neat little package that I present to you guys. So it is my belief, though, that your circle has a great impact or influence on you. It's just human nature, per se. Right? How long you going to hang around somebody that you're in constant disagreement with? How long you going to hang around with someone who's eating every 30 minutes and you not? Right? At some point, somebody's going to be uncomfortable. They might just stop hanging around you. What's up, Corey?
That last bit that you just said is what just happened this past weekend with the friend. She invited some guy into her life that, in my eyes, was toxic. It's like I don't hang with guys like this. I don't keep those type of people around, which may, in this case, cause me to stop being around you because you keeping him in your life, and I care about you, which means that now you're causing trouble to my peace. Because we've had a conversation about this. You haven't adjusted to, so I'll let you keep him if that's what you want to do, keep him around you, but I'm gonna have to let you go because that's a danger to the type of person that I am.
So how many in here believe that emotions can be contagious? By a show of hands, who believes emotions can be contagious? So that's cool. LaShawn, do you believe that emotions can be? Okay. So no, all right. I was confused. You had the pen up, and then you was, I don't know. You had your hand down too? All right. What? You had it up? Oh, okay. I'm just curious. Whatever you believe, that's mostly how it is. If you think that's not the case, then that's what it is. I'm just asking as a matter of what are your thoughts on it? So, in the studies that they've done, they've shown that emotions, and you can call it negative or positive energy, right? Because a lot of times we associate, positive energies with being happy, and we associate, depression or fear as being negative. So, in the science behind it, they said in the experiments that if you had a group of individuals, 3 to 4, and they were all vibing and talking in a good light, right? Good energy per se, and someone comes in and they're down and they have, negative energy, the group is more likely to change and turn for that one person than to hold strong and actually change that individual. So, if you have a group of individuals that are talking, 3 to 4, and we all have a high energy going, little positivity going on, one person that comes in with negative energy or negative, thought process, we're all likely to change and convert to that one person versus stay strong with the energy that we have flowing. That's what they say statistically. And it's the same thing reverse. If you have one person and they're by themselves and they're in a negative kind of tone, it takes 3 to 4 individuals to come in and change before that individual will change. That's what they say statistically. Now that you know, can't unknow. So if you ever go into a situation and someone's pouring out the blues and the hearts and all the things that are going wrong in the world and you co-sign on it, yeah, you're not you're not fighting it. You're rolling right along with it. And I know our brains are going into protection mode. Well, I just choose not to engage or say nothing. But when you allow something like that to occur, you actually are co-signing on it. So it's like if we're having a conversation and me, Duma and Candy are talking and Nicole decides to join us and Nicole comes in with all these crazy thoughts and ideas and Candy and Duma are kind of side-eyeing me and looking to see if I'm co-signing on all of it, and I'm decided not to say nothing, I actually am. Because in Duma and Candy's mind is like, well, he's not saying nothing to combat it or go against it, so Nicole must be right. And Nicole in her mind is like, oh, I know I'm right because ain't nobody said nothing. So now, not only am I supporting what Nicole is saying, I'm actually teaching it to Candy and Duma by not saying nothing. So for all of my people out here that says, oh, I'm just going to keep quiet and not say nothing, you actually are saying something. So it's just food for thought. Whenever you find yourself in them situations and you don't totally align with the messages being put out there in the group, that's what happens. So how many here by a show of hands believe that stress, anxiety can make you sick? Sean threw a hand up quick on that one. I'm like, okay, all right. So again, through statistics and testing, they show that they have. They show now, we know more about our emotions and how it affects us physically now. Probably, we've learned more in the past 10 years than we've learned in 100 years preceding that. So we're understanding that whenever you have an emotion, it triggers a chemical into your system. It just does. And most of those chemicals, if you're feeling stressed out, the first thing that it attacks is your digestive system. Stomach starts feeling uneasy, or you start having irritable, bowel syndrome, gut starts acting up or grumbling, because something has you on edge. And your body is alerting you like, hey, we're getting mixed signals down here. And the thing about it is, if you stay in this mode for too long, it starts changing you, a metaphor, in your cells, and leading into dangerous things like cancer and all those kind of, horrible diseases. And that's all off of thought. That's all off of just feeling bad or thinking bad. So now that you know, you can't unknow. But the flip side of it is, when you have those great feelings, those great emotions. How many in here have had a laugh out moment where their side is hurting, tears are running? How many have had a laugh out moment like that in their life? Terica, you never had one of those moments?
I
where you laugh so hard, your side hurts, little tear comes down your face from laughing hard? There we go. If you hadn't, I was about to say you need to fire your whole network. Family, everybody need to go. You ain't had a laugh out moment. Ooh. All right, where was I? Oh yeah. When you have those moments, you realize there's a chemical that's being released into your system that's helping you out, that actually works the opposite of the cancer. It actually starts repairing cells. It starts releasing the chemical to make you feel good. That's why you have that sensation when you're having that moment. You're laughing uncontrollably. There's something that's being released into your system that's helping you out in that situation. And if you have those moments more than you have the other stress and anxiety moments, boy, looking at a great life. I believe the chemical they call it interleukins. And they actually use that to help people that are going through cancer. The only problem with interleukins is that we all have our own genetically built medicine in us to help us. So i.e., if I capture Leon's interleukins when he's having a laugh out moment and I try to inject them in myself, it probably won't have the same response or has the same effect that it has on Leon. Because when he has that moment, his body's releasing those chemicals to help him physically. So now that you know, can't unknow. So if you find yourself most days in the pit of your deep, dark thoughts and just how things are not going as well as you planned, or, you know, you're bringing on unnecessary stress. Dwell on your successes. Dwell on, like my man Leon said, solutions versus problems. You have that ability. That's what that brain is. It does. It's just a matter on what you choose to focus in on. And understanding worrying is not the greatest thing. I'm not saying to just exit out. Just worry one time and think about all the great positive ways that it can go right for you 1,000 times. Just switch the math up. All right. Thank you guys for coming out. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to hang out with me this morning/afternoon, and I appreciate that. And also, while you're out there, hey, do some examination about your life. I know I just gave you the paperwork to do the water and the exercise in the morning. You know, please take that to your mirror. But evaluate in your circle now that you understand that emotions could be contagious. You are the sum total of your group. Take a little inventory of how many people in my life that I know, if I see their name ringing on my phone, they're about to bring some ugliness with them. And how many people do I have in my life where I know if I see that name show up in their phone, oh, we about to chop it up and laugh about something. Everybody in here knows their circle well enough. See y'all Thursday. Thank you, Candy. I appreciate that. I'll be doing this all again. 5 hours and 45 minutes. Bye, LaShawn.